All right, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, we are live. Welcome to another episode of Smash Times Lead Therapy. And today we have a very cool show. Man, this almost feels like a legit show now. Man, I just appreciate all you guys tuning in. Let's check the chat real quick, see who is in the chat. We have Maddie Livingston. What's up? That's a new name. Welcome to the chat. In crew, what's up? What's up is always in the chat. Let's see. Hey, Zeus, my man. What's up, buddy? I'm in the chat, of course. I'm in the chat. Lucky Dog, Brett J, my man. Texan 65. Nice. Welcome, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I really, really do. And you guys know I'm a huge fan of quality products. So I got this AR and I got to shoot it at the range a couple years ago, about 2 years ago. And I shot the heck out of this AR. It was my buddies. And I go, how much you pay for it? He goes, man, I got this for like $600. And it just blew my mind. And it was a Radical Firearms. I had never heard of Radical Firearms before. And my brother actually had just got one in Atlanta. And he was telling me, oh, man, I got this Radical Firearms, this and that. You should know it. You're in Texas and they're a Texas company. And I was like, man, okay, let me find out a little bit more about them. So at NRA show, I went up to this gentleman. I said, hey, man, you guys are in Texas. I got to know more about your company. And he was really cool, answered all my questions. And without further ado, John from Radical Firearms. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How long have you been with Radical Firearms?
At this point in time, I'm 7 years going on to 8.
Wow. And what's your job title specifically? Like,
I am the logistics coordinator, so I control basically all the orders going in and out of Radical. So the time frame, the windows, making sure the machine shop is producing the right rails, making sure we're producing the right barrels, just basically help orchestrate the whole show to keep it going.
great. So when things go wrong, it's absolutely your fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, logistics, bro.
Yeah,
I
what we
do
do.
so I do international logistics for a living. And today I had a customer, but I don't want to go into it. Anyway, it's bananas. It's bananas how screwed up some of this stuff gets these days, but
Yeah.
we just deal with it. Fluffy's in the chat. What's going on? So Radical, you guys have your own YouTube channel, but it's not very active.
No, we're trying to work on that. We're trying to work with other people to help grow our YouTube channel. We're trying to have guest appearances. We're trying to secure a proper range so we can actually go back and shoot. We started working with a local club in Fulshire, and we might be able to start making content with them repeatedly. And as our product rolls out over different calibers and over the innovations and the stuff that we're doing, because we're pretty quiet on our social medias.
I know. What's up with that? I blame Travis personally. I think it's all his fault.
Well, is a lot of the stuff that we're doing, like as you saw when you came to the shop, it's you can't really show until the fruition's there, until it's actually fully closed and done.
Right. And because I saw you guys shot at the Renaissance Shooting Club, that's where I shoot a lot of my videos. And that's a great range, man. That's a cool range.
Yeah, I actually really like the setup over there. I was up there probably 4 months ago for a local gun shop called Texas Loot. I don't know if you heard of them. They had like a little event, and we were up there like in the machine gun bay and out there and just hanging out with the people. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, Adam is an interesting gentleman, but I do love Renaissance Shooting Club. It's a good shameless plug. Shameless plug. You know, they have
I'll
great
definitely,
rates.
I'll definitely be out there for your next Smash Time TV event. I'll be out there for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be a bolt action event, and that's going to be in January, February, March. That's going to be end of March.
All right, I might have to show up with the AR and just take off the gas block and
Hey, that
treat it
works.
like a bolt gun.
Hey, that works. So we're gonna have a shooting contest, and it's not gonna be a typical like bolt action from a bench. Now, screw all that. You're gonna be standing up, freestanding with your gun, because anybody can shoot off a bag.
Yeah.
Not here. Not here. and we're gonna have Firebird targets set out at 100 yards, and whoever shoots it first, wins, or whoever gets the best tightest group. And I give out good stuff, man. If you go to one of my events, I give out save your equipment bags. I give out red dot sights. I mean, all the money I make from YouTube, I put right back into it. So it's a lot of fun. Let's see, Ricky Toba, my buddy from California. Who's I guess this is John from Radical Firearms. You're late to the class, Ricky. Carolina EDC, Mo Guns, less problems. What's up? Ron Wayne. If you guys in the chat have any questions about Radical Firearms, this is their chance to ask them. So we met at the NRA show, and did you already know about the channel when we met, or because I think you were like, hey, aren't you the ammo guy? Or
Yeah, actually, that's exactly what it was. Because I was going through the same problems that everyone was dealing with. It was trying to find ammo in Houston during the COVID crisis, right? And you're the guy that popped up. You're like, this is where you find it in Houston. And then I was like, I know this guy. And when I saw you at NRA, I was like, oh, I've seen these videos before. I know who you are. And you're
yeah,
like,
I'm
yeah.
flattered. You're probably like the only person in the building.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was just like, oh, hey man, this is the guy that helped me find ammo when I couldn't find it anywhere else.
Man, people just don't understand that are just getting into guns how bad it was 2 years ago. And you work for a major manufacturer, and you were having a hard time.
Yeah, and we had to even how our company bought ammo, because we used to just buy it on a monthly basis, and we had to change just because the ammo manufacturers were only really giving out volume purchases at the time.
Right.
So we had to switch from buying like a month's supply to buying a whole year supply all at once, just to keep the business going.
Oh man. We got Micah Diaz in the chat, wants to know if you're single.
Oh, for him, anything. That's my boy.
I was gonna say, I don't know, Micah. I mean, hey, this show can go any direction. You never know. You just don't know. We don't discriminate here. So, John, have you always been into guns, or is this like a new thing the last couple of years?
So before I worked at Radical, I wasn't really much of a gun guy. So just to give you a little bit of a background on myself, I'm a Colombian. So for us, normally it was kind of like being back in Colombia is like guns are bad. They're only the only people that use guns are narcos or, you know, not the right situations. And so I was a big car guy, and I was working in the car industry for about 10 years. And I decided I got tired of that and I left. And I hit up my boy Gian, and I was like, hey, it's time for you to return the favor. I got you a job. It's time for you to help me find a job. And he got me a job at Radical, and I started working there, and then it started just learning about it, like learning about the culture, learning about what's involved in it, and just finding a passion about firearms and how you can tinker it, how you can modify it, how you can make it yourself.
Yeah, it's so funny how cars and guns seem to go hand in hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you like building stuff, a gun is just like it's something that you can do inside your house.
Right. Like I can't have every time I buy a car or any kind of vehicle, I can't have it look the same as someone else's. It
Oh,
drives me up the wall to see the same car, like the same color. I'm like, damn it. I gotta do something to make it a little bit different.
yeah, you got to make it stand out, make it your own somehow.
Nice. So how far has your gun obsession progressed? So are you going like hunting?
I actually just got done building well, there's no optics on it yet, but I just got done building my new hog gun. So at this point, I'm fully into tactical shooting, hunting. I got some bolt guns too, a lot of handguns. My main thing is handguns. I find a lot of enjoyment in handguns.
Oh, nice. Nice. So how many so so you've been with Radical 6 years, and in that 6 years you turned into a pretty hardcore gun nut.
Yeah, basically, like I owned one gun before I started working at Radical, but it was just to go to the range shoot. It was a SIG P220 combat threaded barrel. And from there, I probably have over 20 guns now. They just keep on showing up. I can't keep track.
You know what? My wife knew. Like I'm out of room. Like I'm going to SHOT Show, and honestly, I'm gonna try and find a safe vendor because I need a safe bad. Like I'm
Yeah,
full.
We need to have you talk to Liberty Safe. They make a really great product.
Yeah, but I spend all my money on guns. I don't. It's funny. People spend all their money on guns and not a safe to put them in. So weird.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to figure out. Like when I first I got like one or two, and I was like, oh, I'll just put them up here and there, and then once the collection starts growing, and you're like, oh wait, there needs to be a dedicated spot for these. I can't just have them in my room.
Right. So Tactical Toolbox had a phrase he used the other day. He calls it when you open your safe, you got to play tactical Tetris to get out the gun because you don't. You got to take 4 out, move this one over here, and then you're banging them around. It's kind of unnerving. So Dale Funduck has a question for you. What brand barrels do you guys have in stock? You guys don't make your own barrels, right?
No, we do. So we have a whole bay in our machine shop. I think we went over it a little bit when you did the tour. We do all the finish work in our own shop. So we
Oh,
do the
nice.
so if you look it up, we own a barrel company called Radical Barrels out in Idaho. They're the ones that do the chambering. They do the sorry, it's been a long day. They do the rifling, they do the profiling, and then we do the finish work at the shop here. So when they come into us, we do the final threads for the extension and then for the muzzle device end, and then we send them off to QPQ, and then they come back to us, and then we port them and put the extension on and get it ready for customers.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Carolina EDC's okay. He's a neighbor because Panama, because he's from Panama. Okay. That's a neighbor, kind of a neighbor.
Yeah, pretty close.
Ricky says Mike loves purple. No, I don't like purple Civics. It was a charcoal gray, bro. Get it right. Me and Ricky used to back in the old Fast and Furious days. Me and him had some good times. Had some crazy stories, man.
I started off with an Integra myself. That was my car that made me catch the bug of modifying cars.
Man, Integras were amazing. I remember in high school, I saw an all white Integra bounce down the street. This is before they had springs, and they would just cut the springs, all ghetto, right? And I remember seeing one bounce down the street, going, "Man, that is the coolest car I've ever seen in my life." You know?
Yeah, no, I started that way too. I did the cut the springs, and I finally figured out, oh, there's a company called Skunk too, and I bought some lowering springs from there, and
I got
kept on
new
going.
speed springs. I thought I was the coolest, man. I had a 2-inch drop on some new speed springs. God, I thought I was the man. Nobody cared. Nobody cared.
Oh yeah, I don't. Did you move transplant here after or before Westheimer stopped being a thing? Like, did you ever see the old Houston car meets out here?
I don't know. I've been here 12 years, but I got out of the car stuff. I'm a 44 now, but I mean, I was pretty into it back in the old days. And like we did car shows. We did like 15 car shows a year.
Hmm.
And then, I mean, it was pretty nuts. I still have some of my trophies back in the old days. I still got a couple,
Nice.
but
Yeah,
too old for that
West
now. Too old.
Westheimer next to Burlington used to be like right after the exit of what's that? Where the American Shooting Center is at, George Bush
Okay,
Park. That used to be like the area where everybody used to race at.
man. Back in LA, it was a Watson Center. It was an industrial area, and so all like that's where kind of the import racing started, like right there, where you saw a 14-second Civic, you're like, wow, that car is so fast. And it's terrible. I mean, it was so bad, but that was a lot of fun. I used to live by there, so I would walk over. Like this was 91, 92. I'd walk over there, and when the cops would come, I would just walk home. Everyone else is doing donuts and peeling out.
Yep. I
Dale
used
wants
to.
to work there for store credit.
Oh, we're actually hiring. So if you're looking for work, come on by.
He would change that place. He's a old Navy guy. Not old, seasoned. He's a seasoned retired Navy guy.
Yeah, tell him to come on by if he wants a job. We're looking.
Mo Guns Less Problem says, I shot my radical straight out of the box. I immediately started customizing. This one here, man, I loved it. I took it straight to the range. I know I'm supposed to make sure the barrel's clear. I didn't give a crap. I figured the bullet would push out any junk in the barrel, right? So just started shooting it like crazy.
Yeah, we generally we just ask people for like at least lube your BCG. There's a we get a lot of emails that from people saying like, "Oh, I shot it. I'm having issues." Like, well, did you lube it or did you just shoot it straight out the box? And they're like, "Oh, we didn't know that." It's like, please read the manual.
I did. So I shot it, and then I thought about it for a minute, and I'm like, well, maybe I should at least put some, Tetra gun cleaner on it or something. And Cruz says, Westheimer, you mean Richmond back in the day?
Yeah, it did spread back down to Richmond, but no, I remember we used to call it Rice Timer back in the day.
Riceheimer.
Yeah, there was like an old arcade too. I think it was called like Planet Zero. It used to host the car meet,
Oh
and they
man.
used to have. I remember like one year they had like Smoky Nagata's car out there or something. Like it was nuts. It was a pretty big thing.
Yeah, I mean, heck, I almost got my car in Fast and Furious, but I totaled it before because they needed cars just for background. And I'm like, I wanna put my car in that movie. And then they started filming a lot of it down by my sister's house. And then, the shop that I used to hang out with, Auto Indulgence did all the neon for the cars. So I was in there, I was messing around with some of the Civics and stuff. And they I wrecked my car right before I had my chance. I would have been probably way in the back, but still, it would have been me. That would have been me.
I heard rumors that they would destroy people's cars that we use for those movies.
No, not really. They let a lot of people drive their own cars. During the race war scene in the first movie, that white RX-7, the HKS RX-7, that was
Yeah.
my buddy Chris's car, and they blew the motor up.
Oh no.
But he did get a brand new motor, and they paid to install and fix it. I think he actually made out pretty well. But
Okay.
yeah, that was kind of a bummer. But yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of those cars were pretty cool.
it's rotary things though too. It's kind of nature of the car, right?
Yeah, and rotary is a different animal.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see this. A little sneak peek for SHOT Show.
Oh, nice.
So this is the Radical Defense. Well, this is actually a 6.5 Grendel. This is the base of my hunting gun. But
Oh,
these are going to be released officially at SHOT Show this year.
very cool.
So those are going to be like they're going to come out in like 14.5s, 12.5s, 16-inch. We have a PDW that we're fully releasing, and a bunch of other stuff that we want to save for the SHOT Show footage that we're going to show y'all.
Very cool. I just found out you guys had a 7.62 AR.
Yeah, and on that one, we actually, this show that we listen to our community, we just replaced firing pins on them, so they actually come with factory extended firing pins now. So all the
Oh,
guys that use steel K762, your reliability will be a lot higher now.
very cool. Chris Gavlik says Planet Zero anime meats, the OG meats back in the day. I don't know.
Yep,
You're a truck guy, Chris. What do you know about Rice Rocket meats, bro?
you got to start somewhere.
Dale says, do you have any 22 LR AR-15 barrels?
At this point in time, no, we do not.
What's really cool is that little Ruger bolt action gun you guys are making.
Yeah. So it's Ruger style. So we make our own 1022. It uses Ruger magazines. It essentially is a 1020. It is a 1022. It's just we can't call it that because Ruger owns the name on that. But it's your standard 1022 action. You can put it on any chassis you want, and it also has an integrated Picatinny rail on the top.
Nice.
So
I'll have one on the channel before the year's up.
yeah, for sure. Come on
Micah
by.
says 14.5. That's right. All right. Dale says, why not 6.8 SPC?
For hunting? For one, I prefer the 6.5 Grendel. 6.8 is great for hunting,
Oh, nice.
but for me, it's just easier to find 6.5 Grendel. I can go to Academy and find it, where 6.8 is a little bit harder to get. I have to go to usually like a gun store that specializes in hunting around here.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about Radical itself as a company. How old is Radical Firearms?
So Radical itself is in August will be 9 years old.
Okay, so you've been there almost from the start. I mean, a couple of years in.
Yeah. Yeah, when I started, I was employee number 20, 25 probably.
Oh wow. Was that the facility you're in now, or is that a
Yeah, so we started off in the very first suite. So just our suites are like 3,000 square feet.
Mhm.
And now we have all 8 suites that are in that building. And then we also have the building in front of us, but that's that's a side company.
Yeah, man, I got to tell you that when you first pulled up, I was like, okay, this place looks cool. And then you go in and it just doesn't stop. It just keeps going and going and going. It's like crap. And then, I've never seen gun parts get made like the uppers and lowers and the rails. Man, that was really a treat for me. And I was almost like a kid in a candy store. For you, it's probably boring because you see it every day. But to the average person, I was like, man, that is so. And then, here I am walking around Radical with John and Travis, and there's just a crate. There's like a dolly full of AR-15s. They just roll it by like it's not a big deal. I was like, man, that is really cool. That's what you need to start putting on your Instagram. Just pictures of just tons and tons of guns, because that thing looked stacked. It was so
Yeah,
cool.
I think one of those carts they hold about 50 to 60 guns. So I think our assembly line right now is pushing out probably like 13 of those carts a day. They're rocking it.
Man, that's bananas. So you guys also have Radical Defense, and that's just for because someone asked me if he could buy a Radical Defense rifle, and I said no. You got to be a cop. Now, can just a Leo approach you and buy a one-off, or the departments buy those in bulk?
No. So that is going to be open to everybody. It is marketed and built for the law enforcement officer. It's made for duty. It's our duty grade line out the
Right, and
box.
that gun is made just to pick up and shoot right away. I mean, it's just to go.
Yep. So this is it has other features that our regular AR-15 doesn't have. So one thing is that it has like a notched barrel to hold your gas tube or gas block alignment perfect. So the gas block itself has a bar that comes out to go into that alignment notch. Um, Let me see. That's gonna be hard to show, but like even on the rail here, I don't know if that camera picks it up, but there's even an alignment notch on the rail. And then on the barrel nut, we're using that. You can't see it, it's too dark in here, but it's a giant tombstone is what we call it, but it's a locking tab that holds it in.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's a lot of features that for an officer or anyone that wants to really heavily use their gun will be able to appreciate what they buy when they see it, because they're like, oh wow, this thing is built like a tank. It's still lightweight. I could shoot 10,000 rounds to this thing and it will be reliable from the start.
John, I have to ask you a question. How many live streams have you been on YouTube? Is this your first one?
This is my first one, but I do get on Twitch with my buddy Micah, but I'm not much of a camera guy. I'm a talker.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because usually touching these is a kind of a big that's frowned upon.
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
Oh, sorry about that. Hopefully
I
I
never
don't.
saw it though. I never saw it.
Okay.
Never happened. Never
Okay, good to
happened.
know.
Usually they'll just pull it down right away. But
Really?
apparently they're sleeping at the wheel tonight. Thank goodness.
Yeah, they like me.
Right. So those 3D suppressors are cool. Is that something that the average Joe can buy too? The 3D suppressors?
Yeah, we're not gonna hinder anyone in the civilian market that wants to buy it. If they want to, it's a premium product. So if they want to pay the premium price for it, they can gladly buy it from us.
Premium product. That means it's very expensive.
There's a lot of technology and advancements that are involved in it that makes it well worth it. So
What's premium for me is I don't know, $1,000 for a suppressor. Is that expensive?
That's to me that sounds about right.
Oh,
That's average.
that's not too bad. You made it. I thought
Not
it
too
was.
bad.
I thought you were gonna drop like a 1,500 price tag on it.
No. It's not that. It's not. It's not ridiculous. But we on our suppressors we use higher end material, so we use Inconel and Haynes, and they also have what we would call flow. Not, the industry is calling it flow through or breathing, but we call it breathable technology. So it doesn't build up back pressure like your normal enclosed suppressor would.
Oh,
So
okay.
it actually bleeds out in the front of the suppressor. So when you have weapon systems that are overgassed, it doesn't hinder the weapon system. It actually allows it to function. For people that run like AKs and Galils and stuff like that, the probability of it running out the box is a lot higher because
Right.
we can't guarantee it. We're not testing every single weapon system out there, but the probability of your gun, if it's an overgas gun, it will still run with our
So
suppressors.
everyone in the chat, I had the opportunity to shoot one of these suppressors on a 240 full auto, and it was so quiet. It was unbelievably quiet, and it's very cool. I thought it was like I don't know. I can't even compare it. There's nothing to compare it to. It just sounds. It's unreal, unreal. You got to get one. All right, let's check the chat real quick. Micah says, I run a CMMG 22 LR converter in my 16556 Radical, and it works awesome. You know, I don't like the. God, I'm going to see these guys this weekend, too. I'm not a big fan of the CMMG 22 conversion. Not the conversion itself, but the magazines it comes with. They're hard to load. Just because most 22 LR mags have the little helper thing on the side where you can pull down as you load it. The CMMG ones don't have that. So my son, who's 10, was really struggling to load that sucker. But I love CMMG. Love you guys if you're listening. Daryl Hall's Private Eye says, first live stream, I just found your channel last week through Tools and Targets. Really? That's awesome. Tools, I talked to him yesterday, actually. He was doing his weekly ammo run, and he was cussing up a storm. So, yeah, hopefully I can have him back on the channel sometime in the new year. He's super busy. He is super busy, killing it on his channel. Let's see. Anybody else? Dale says, are they lifetime warranted? Your suppressors?
Yeah, all our products are.
All of them?
Yeah.
All of them. Now, I heard that, a couple years ago, you guys were having some hiccups kind of in the AR-15 market where you were having some QC issues. Was that just blown out of proportion or?
No, I'm gonna be honest. There was. It's growing pains. So
Right.
the demand grew faster than we could supply, and so what we were doing is that we were purchasing products that weren't manufactured by us, and it bit us in the butt, and so we ended up just swallowing it and fixing the product, making sure our customers are whole, and then growing our company, getting more machines, bringing more of the product manufacturing in house. The reason why we make so much of our stuff in house is because to stay in our price and have the quality behind it, you have to make it yourself.
Right.
If you're ever like trying to outsource buy everything, the market's not, or at the time the market wasn't there, and you're getting the stuff for the prices that we need to get. You're getting bottom of the barrel. The QC from the manufacturer one might not be there, so we decided to screw it. Let's figure out how to make it ourselves. Let's figure out how to save the cost so we can still send a product out that everyone can afford.
Yeah, so I put well over 1,000 rounds through this thing behind me. I have not wanting to, but I've dropped it probably like 10 times. I actually drove. I was at Renaissance and I left it on the back of the tailgate, and I drove down to the Target and I left it and it fell off the truck. And I was like, God dang it! This thing, I have abused it like crazy, and it's been a tank. And I've cleaned it twice. 1,000 rounds, cleaned it twice, and just abused the heck out of it. And it's great.
Yeah, I'm the worst person about cleaning guns. I shoot them until they give me a malfunction. I'm like, oh, it's probably time I clean it.
I just recently stopped cleaning them every time I shoot them. Now it's every other time, or it really depends on the gun.
Yeah.
So Chris Gavlik says it's nice to see a budget company going the extra mile to lock the handguard and gas blocks. That's true. Texan 65, do you have a storefront at your facility?
Yeah, it's more like a chill out spot. It's real small. It's a couch, a couple couches. You come and hang out. We get your order done. We prefer for people to buy off the website and then just come in the store to pick up and do your 4473 with us. It's
Oh,
not
no
like
kidding. You can do that.
yeah, yeah. If you're local, you can buy and pick up their stuff in store.
I did not see that on your website, sir. Is that advertised?
If it's not, we'll change that and it will be changed tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, that's very cool. Because I don't know, you might be inundated now with a bunch of randoms coming in there trying to pick up. But hey, that's cool. That is very cool. Jeff W in the chat, what's going on, buddy? Dale's address. Oh man, Dale's serious. He's going. I'll post a link here. Let me pull up their website real quick. Yeah, it's not really. That's where I filled out my paperwork when I picked up that rifle. All right, so let's do. They're in Stafford. What's cool about Radical Firearms? There's a lot of really good places to eat right there. So, like if you like Indian food or fusion, Asian fusion, I'm kind of a foodie. So, uh, both times I went down there, man, I got to go eat at Bombay to Beijing. It's one of my favorite spots. So I did put a link to their website in the description. So please check them out. No, I don't
Yeah,
see it.
I think it's on the checkout. It has an option as in-store pickup.
Very cool. Man, that is very cool.
Yeah, I think we're still running a special on like a rifle package kit on our website too right now.
Oh, it
Limited
comes with a
price.
bag, right?
Bag, optic, sling, 2 extra mags. It's basically like a range ready kit. So it's everything for someone starting out. It gives them the entire gun. They don't have to guess anything around. We started that special around Christmas because everyone wants to give somebody a gun, and we have some inventory left over. We're just letting it run until it runs out.
Oh, that's awesome. So let's talk about SHOT Show, man, because that is what I want to pick your brain about. So how many SHOT Shows have you been to?
This one will be my third one because 2021 they canceled it. So this will be my third one.
Right. And so you went during when it used to be traditional SHOT Show, packed wall to wall, super crowded. See, my first one was last year. Everyone in the chat. So SHOT Show, that show in Las Vegas, usually, and everyone kept telling me that usually it's packed wall to wall. You can't walk. People are pushing in the aisles, and it's just super, super crowded. And I was really bummed out. But last year, since it was the COVID stuff, only about 60% of the usual people showed up, and it was great. It was great. You could talk to people. You could actually interview somebody. It wasn't loud. I had the best time ever. So next week is going to be kind of a crapshoot. It could be great, could suck. I don't know. I mean, how do you prefer it? Do you prefer it really crowded because that's more people, more eyes on?
No. So I actually preferred last year's more than the previous experiences, just because I got to sit down and actually talk to people, show them what our product is about, what we all actually offer, instead of just being like, "Here's a quick 5 minute rundown. I need to talk to the next person." Like being
Right.
able to dedicate time to people was great. And then also, I have a lot of friends that come by and visit too. So it was like, "Oh, hey, I can actually talk to you. I don't have to be stuck at the booth, or I don't have to be talking to the 30 people that are in here right now."
Right.
And it helps build a lot of relationships too, because like the main thing about SHOT Show, right, is relationship building. So you're out there talking because you never know who's walking up to your booth. It could be mom and pop gun shop, or it could be gallery of guns. You never know. Like, and you want to be able to give every single person their time, but you never know. Like, you could have 3 people manning the booth, and you have 40 people in it, and you have all your products, and you have to sit there and you have to try to give them a quick rundown. And when there's 60% less people there, you could actually sit there and talk to why would you pick this, or why would you want this one, and actually show them your knowledge and show
Right.
them what you care about.
So there's three types, right? There's customers that you're trying to sell to. You have a bunch of media YouTube people wanting free stuff, their hands out all the time. Drives me nuts. And then you have just like random people that are just going. They just like to go.
Yeah,
I,
no, for sure.
yeah, I like talking to the randoms. They're fun.
And there's some characters there too. Like they're obviously not industry. They're just like there to see what's going on. Like they have a friend that's in the industry that just got them in, and you're like, "What are you doing here?" And they're like, "This is my first time ever seeing a gun." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah, I have two friends from California. I got passes for. They're gonna do all my video work for me. Wink, wink. And they're so excited. They went and bought shoes because I told them it's a lot of walking. So they went and
Mhm.
bought special like walking shoes, and they're jacked. They are so excited to go.
Yeah,
And
my
I
first
told them,
ever
"Are you sure you're gonna walk all 3 days?" And they're like, "Yeah, let's go." I'm like, I don't think you're gonna last 3 days. I mean, I don't even want to go all 3 days.
my first shot show. I had no booth obligations. My my boss was just like, "You go out, you go meet people, talk to everybody you see, just do whatever, just have a good time, enjoy it, because there's only one first shot show, and after that, you're working all of them." I was like, "All right, cool." I walked like 4.5 to 5 miles a day for 3 days straight, and I was like, "Wow, it's a lot." There's a lot to see. There's a lot to take in. You go down, like you go. Did you go to the basement last year?
Yeah, I went everywhere. What's funny is I got to the first floor and I walked through the first floor. I was like, dude, I knocked out this whole floor in one day. I was feeling good. And then I saw the map and there was like, crap, there's so much more to see. So I know I
Yeah,
walked 27,000 steps in one day,
and what's
which
also
was
nuts
nuts.
is that previously they didn't have the expansion forum that they have this last year.
Oh, the Caesars Forum.
This year's, yeah, so that's new. That last year was the first time they did it with the Sky Bridge and everything like that.
Yeah.
And that area, that site has a lot of potential for the new people coming in, because it gives you a lot of booth space for more affordable.
So I
And
know there's companies actually that are not going to shot this year. I mean, SIG is never going to shot again. And then I don't think CMMG has a booth this year. And I've heard rumblings that some other companies, not maybe not this year or next year, but are just going to start breaking off and doing their own thing. And they think shot might be a dying dinosaur in the next 5-6 years. It might not be a shot show.
I've been hearing those rumors ever since I've been going. It has a lot to do with the NSSF organization, because some people don't like how they have it set up, where like supplier showcase doesn't really get that much of a display. Because I don't know if you know, but Shot Show actually starts on Monday.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to go to Monday.
Yeah, Monday supplier showcase is not really like a media thing, but like those guys don't get much attention, but they have to pay for that extra day. Um, it's just like it doesn't seem like the organization is really supporting the people being there. And at this point, like companies like SIG is like, why pay for a shot show where they can just have their own event dedicated to them in
Right.
Vegas the same weekend, same week, you know?
Right.
And I think a lot of that also comes from range day. Range day sounds like because I don't participate in range day. I've heard a lot that it's like somewhat of a mess. Sometimes it's very disorganized, and some some people say it's almost unsafe.
Well, range day for me, it's like, look, man, I have kind of zero interest in going to range day because as someone that creates content and wants to do videos, how am I going to cut a video when everyone is shooting all around me? Like I got into like the Gundies and IV88, and it's a lot of fun, but man, good luck trying to interview somebody or ask a question because it's just constantly gunshots, gunshots, gunshots. And it's cool you get hands on with the gun, but I don't know. I skip it.
It,
I have no interest in going.
and also, I think SHOT Show coverage in general for content guys, I think it has a window because you basically your content has to be coming out almost the same day or like the day after you filmed it.
Same day.
Because if you wait like a week later, there's 30 other Joe Smos that did the same thing and you're competing against them.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
and
It's so funny. So last year, I know you've probably already seen all my videos, but last year I did 4 SHOT Show videos, kind of like a vlog, Casey Neistat style. Nobody cared at all. Nobody watched them. Like 3 people watched them, and one was my wife. So, like, nobody cares about that stuff. But the 2 I did a product on Phoenix Light, and I did a product showcase on Save Your Equipment. Those videos, 20, 30,000 views, like that. So they did great. So this year, I'm not lugging around a big camera because the lighting changes so much inside those areas.
mhm.
You're always messing with the ISO and all that. Forget all that noise. Phone camera, we'll do it live. I might bring a mic and then just do it. I mean, that video comes out great. These phone cameras now take amazing video.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic. Like some of these things are, I don't know how many megapixels are in an iPhone nowadays? Like 20, 30? It's
I don't
ridiculous.
know. Well, you know what? The Caesars Forum, they were
Mhm.
playing music, so you couldn't take video in there because it's copyright.
Oh yeah, that strikes you. That's makes it
So
hard
they
for you
should
too.
they should probably turn that shit off because I filmed so much content and I just threw it out because by the time I would have got home and posted it and had like a voiceover, it would have been 5-6 days. No one cares 6 days after shot.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, like if anybody's out there and you're in the Caesars forum, make sure they turn that music off because no content creators can just film it on the spot and post it. So your products are, I mean, I saw a lot of cool stuff. I was like, I'm not gonna mess with it.
Yeah, so that's actually something that we did differently this year with our booth. So we made uh the back wall of our booth, it actually has 2 rooms. So one room is for scheduled meetings, and the other room are uh, for us to pull somebody back. Like, let's say you wanted to do content on one of our new products, you can
Right.
come back. We sit down, talk to you in a closed, quiet environment, and there's food, drinks, and stuff like that, so you can actually refresh yourself a little bit, and then we can actually talk about it. So that way, we don't lose the opportunity. Because the last thing you want is to come up on someone's compilation video because there's a song above you playing.
I know they were playing a lot of country music, and I'm like, man. And I told a few people, it's like I would love to take video of this stuff, but I can't. I can't use it any of because it was loud, and there's no way I'll just immediately get a strike. So that was kind of a bummer. But yeah, I'm thinking like this, maybe just someone could just come down to Radical and just buy a gun and just film a bunch of content this weekend and then release it, during shot, like on a Tuesday or something. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. I mean, that works for me. I got all weekend. Just saying. Just saying.
Oh well,
That'll
to
save
answer
you.
your
Look, I'm doing it for you guys. I'm saving you all that time at shot where I don't have to go in the back room. You know, I'm just looking out for you guys. Maddie
I'll
Livingston says, any chance we ever see an AR pistol with a 5-inch barrel and 300 blackout?
we're actually really close to that. Our PDW is a 6.5 inch. So if
That's
there be,
bananas.
if there becomes a demand to do a 5 inch, then yeah, we'll do it. We listen to our community. We listen to our PDs. So basically, if enough people ask for it, we will make it.
Like I had a 6.5-inch AR written 5.56, and I hated shooting that thing. It was so loud and nasty, but it wasn't suppressed. I was just shooting it. But yeah, I got rid of it pretty quick. It was too loud, too much blowback too.
Yeah.
Kevin says, I love the price of my Radical firearm. It was free. I won it from Gallery of Guns. I only put 60 rounds through it. Kevin, you need to put more rounds through it. Boss Hogs in the chat. Welcome, man. I'm glad you're okay. He got into an accident. He was drinking and driving. No, I'm kidding. He wasn't drinking and driving. New Balance for the win. No, they bought shoes called On Cloud. Apparently, it's like a big running shoe. It's super expensive, and I might have went out and bought a pair too, just because I'm a little on the husky side, and I was hurting so bad last year on SHOT Show. Tuesday night, I just so look. Here's a husky tip. Husky tip from Smash Time to the viewers. If you're husky and you have to walk that night before and after, put Vicks on the bottom of your feet and then put a sock on and go to sleep. Trust me, you'll wake up, your feet will thank you, and it'll feel just bananas. It's so nice. So pack the Vicks, man, because that saved my life last year. Let's see. There's a lot of Radical Firearms fans in here. And you know what? I don't really hear a lot of bad stuff about Radical Firearms. So your name, in the layman industry and just around the internet, is pretty good.
Yeah, we worked hard on that. It took a lot of time to get there. Well, it took about 8 years, 9 years to get there.
Right? Jay Curry, I was checking out Radical Firearms website and may have to check out one of those 6.5 Grendel rifles. Yes, you do. Dale says, let's go buy a gun. I wish, man. All my money's tied up for a hotel and airfare for SHOT, so I'm kind of broke this month.
Did you stay at the Venetian?
No, I'm not that bougie, man. I wish. I'm staying across the street at Harrah's.
Okay.
Which is actually connected to the Caesar Forum.
Yep.
So I'm thinking I could just walk and go in the back way into SHOT every day. Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed.
If I remember right, the entrance on that side was open last year, so you should be good.
Nice. Will's lurking in the chat. What's up, buddy? All right, so I have to ask, do you conceal carry every day?
Yes.
What is your concealed carry of choice? EDC check in the chat. What do you guys conceal carry? John, what do you conceal carry?
I carry a HK VP9.
Hey, I don't really hear that gun too much being carried as an EDC, but that's a great gun.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I found it as basically when you buy a Glock, you're going to do a bunch of stuff to it right out, like when you buy it to make it yours, to enjoy shooting it more. Right. The HK VP9 to me feels like it's just all the upgrades already on there.
Right. That's great. I love it, man. I shoot my everyday carry. I'm a big Springfield fanatic. I'm very brand loyal. When I find something I like, I buy it. And even though they have bad PR, some people hate on Springfield quite a bit. I carry the XDM Elite 9mm. I love it. Now, do you have an optic on yours, or you do iron sights?
No, mine's iron. I have a gun that's ready for optics, but I just haven't done the switch yet. I don't know. I've been shooting irons for a while.
So listen, man, I fought it a long time. I fought red dots forever. I'm like, I don't need a red dot. That's for wusses and old people that can't see. And I switched about 2 years ago, and I don't regret it at all. It's like cheating because I can shoot farther, more accurate, and once you get used to the pull, you got to learn how to almost draw and get your sight picture all over again. It takes a couple range trips, but once you do, it's cheating. It's so easy to shoot with a red dot.
Yeah, I was thinking about sending off my 2011 to be cut for acro.
Should do it, or get a new 2011.
I could.
That's an excuse. You have to do it, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, I bought into like the staccato thing, right? So I feel like I would have to get another member of the family, and I started off with the P, and they don't get cheaper from there.
There's nothing wrong with the staccato. I love those guns. I think they're fantastic. My buddy just picked up an Atlas. Phenomenal gun, but it's staccato level, but it's a little more pricier, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the grip finish is like a lot nicer on the Atlas, right?
Oh, it is unreal. I mean, it's pretty sweet. It's a pretty sweet gun. All right, Boss Hog carries a G25. VP9 was his first firearm I shot. The grip is fantastic. Glock 43. Look at this. Canic TP9 SA Mod 2. Canic, man, they are coming out with some stuff. So let me ask you a question. What guns are you excited to see it shot? Do you have any that you're looking forward to checking out, or what companies, as a vendor, what companies do you look forward to seeing?
So, Rock Island's new, uh,
That
I
square
forgot what they
barrel
call it.
deal?
That square barrel thing. That thing looks pretty neat.
I want to check that out too. That looks pretty cool.
And then FNs on their new 510 and 545.
Oh, that
You
the 10
know,
millimeter.
the 10 mil and the 45. So I have an FNX. So if it's anything like the FNX, I might have to get a striker fire version of it. You know, it seems pretty neat.
Seems like
Um,
almost a must buy, right? Oh, you got to get it. You
yeah.
have to.
And then there's other like, so what really interests me the most is like what like EOTech does, what Trigicon releases, Scalar works, like the accessories that go on a lot of guns too. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really go by Glock. You know, I only go by Glock if people ask me to get like the little keychains or something for them.
Now look, you got to be careful when you say Glock. You have them Glockophiles that'll come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, but like their stuff is great, and there's nothing wrong with them. But it's
It's the
just
same.
it's the same. They're rehashing stuff that's already been out there.
And
Or
the numbering system, I don't get it. So my first time when I first got into guns, I met this guy. He was a Glockophile. And he goes, "You want to see my Glock?" I'm like, "Sure." So he pulls out this Glock. He goes, "Yo, man, I just bought this last week. I changed the trigger. I just put these new sights on it. I just changed the slide. I put a new barrel." I'm like, "Why don't you just buy a different gun? Why would you buy a gun and then change everything on it?" I don't get that, the logic. That's like back in the old days, people would buy just a regular AR-15 and then change the stock, change the trigger, change the hand guard, and change all the stuff on it and the flash hider. And it's like, just buy all those parts and make it yourself. I mean, I don't know. And then you got companies like Palmetto State Armory with their dagger,
Mhm.
comes in like 50 billion different variations, and it's $399, $299. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think the patent, I guess, ran out on the Gen 3 Glock because like all those like Shadow Systems, all those other companies that are releasing Glock-ish guns that aren't Glocks
They're crushing it
is
right now.
they're crushing it right now. Like they you get so many features right out the box.
Yeah, buy a Shadow Systems. It's basically a custom Glock, says Jay Curry. That's right. Maddie says he carries a Glock 45, no mods, running the 19X mags with 17 rounds to give the spring bank, blah, 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 blah. Glock perfection. Oh my God. Yeah, Maddie, you're a Glockophile. It's okay, man. Hey, we're all welcoming you here in the chat. We're not gonna bash you. But I think the new hot gun this next year, and it really started catching on last year, is the double stack 1911s, man. Staccato really is crushing it. You have EAA is coming out with 10 different versions of a 2011, all priced around $1,000. And I got to tell you, they feel and they look pretty slick, man. It's not your typical imported turkey stuff here. I mean, those guns look really nice. I got to get my hands on one and check it out physically, because the pictures that I was sent, crushing it. And the price point, $1,000. I think that's going to eat up all of the what's that real budget builder? Rock Island. Rock Island makes that double stack 1911, but it's real sharp. I don't really like it. Yeah. So that's going to be really cool. So EAA is a booth you got to stop by, because if I can pick up a really decent double stack 2011, all day, all day.
Have you felt any of the Bull Armory stuff?
Have you? I got to ask you first, because I have.
I enjoyed it.
I Man, I gotta tell you. So my buddy, I love this guy. Mike, if you're listening, I love you, bro. You're my buddy. He had to get it, and he got the bull armory. We got to the range. We shoot a staccato, we shoot a masterpiece, we shoot all these high-end guns. And then we had a couple regular 1911 and 45 in the bull armory, and I didn't like it at all, man.
Really?
He's like, "You want to review it?" I'm like, "No." What am I gonna say? I don't like how it feels. I don't like how it looks. I don't like the recoil. I don't like the trigger. I just like, I'm not gonna purposely review a gun just to shit on it,
Yeah.
because that sucks. Like, if someone sends a gun or I get a gun and I don't like it, I'll be completely honest. But I mean, I'll review it, but it's not going to be cool. And then people love them. People really like that gun. Just, it's not for me.
Yeah.
So, did you
I don't
like
know.
it? Really? Did you buy
I
one?
did.
Please tell me you didn't buy one.
No, I don't own one. No, no, no.
You didn't like.
No.
I thought it was too light, and the recoil felt kind of snappy.
I'm guessing it depends on the model too, right? Because I didn't feel like the recoil being too snappy or anything like that. But I shot like I think it was a 5-inch model. So
No,
we
this
have
wasn't the 5-inch. This was, I think, 4.25.
that might be maybe that's the difference.
And it had
I
that
don't know.
weird star barrel thing.
Oh no, no, mine was not like it was like a
Yeah.
thick, heavy barrel, and it was like 5 inches.
No, okay, I'll probably like that one, but the one I shot, no bueno. It was a compact. It was a compact bull armory.
Okay, yeah.
I
They
didn't like it
also
at
have
all.
they have like their own Glockish thing. I don't know if it ever came out in the States.
So
So
what's cool though, I usually like shooting full size guns, and there's a company called Cossaint Arms, and I just reviewed 3 of their pistols, and they're double stack 1911s, and I shot their 4.25, and man, that thing shot better than the 2 full size. I mean, it was a tack driver. So I have a whole new appreciation for compact kind of 1911 guns. He'll be. I think he has a booth inside EAA,
oh, cool. We'll
so you'll
definitely
be
have to
able
go
to
check it
check out
out.
some of his guns too. Yeah, Cossaint Arms is
Um,
another up and coming 2011. I think that's going to be the new thing for 2023, man. Double stack 1911s.
have you put more rounds through your Springfield?
Which one? The Prodigy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was on my buddy's gun.
Okay.
So he bought the 5-inch and the 4.25. I reviewed the 5-inch, and we had a couple hiccups, right?
Hmm.
But honestly, it's smoothed out, and we shot. We put well over 2,000 rounds through that gun, and it's a champ right now. It's just,
Yeah, that's what I heard. You just put some flips in them and run them through, and just deal with the issues at the beginning, and it just works itself in, and then they become great.
yeah, the smaller one works fine, but I mean, it was great. John Doe says, I would never carry a 1911, but I like to shoot them. You know what? People give 1911s a bad rap. Like, I've never had a staccato jam on me ever. I've never had a Masterpiece Arms jam on me, but it's not a carry gun. Um, I don't know. I don't know.
Thinking about it, I don't think I've had any issues with mine, but I also hear that sometimes they come out unsprung from factory. I don't know, dude. Like,
Yeah. They want
like,
that smooth slide.
yeah, like mine hasn't given me issues, but I've heard about it. But I don't know. I just keep on shooting it, and then I clean it, and then I shoot it again.
So
But I wouldn't want to.
I bought a Kimber repeat in 10 mil, and I was so excited, man. I got it. I saved up for it. I paid full price. I mean, it was like $1,600 for this gun, and it's beautiful. The repeat is a gorgeous 1911. I went to the range, and it couldn't make it through one magazine. Every mag had 4 to 5 failures through it. It was terrible. Took it home, took it all apart, cleaned it, lubed it, went back, same thing, junk. I was like, you should see in my video, I'm almost crying. I'm so mad because I really wanted this gun to work. And then I will give credit though. Kimber, I mailed it back to him on Monday, and by Friday I had it back to me.
Hmm.
So I overnighted it to them. They tore it apart, they massaged it, and then it worked like a champ, absolute champ. And I ended up selling it. I can't have a gun in my safe that's not reliable, you know.
Yeah, you just want to be able to pull it up and use it.
Mr. Big Kid. Hey, Smashticles. Thank you. That's my pet name. We got a celebrity, Mr. Big Kid. Unfortunately, he is not going to SHOT Show, so I have no one to hang out with. I'm very upset about it. So let me ask you, I've had a few people tell me the last couple of days that the AR market is kind of slowing down. And from your perspective, how do you guys see the AR market now?
It's definitely slower in comparison to like 2020, 2021. It's definitely slower. Both those years was completely gangbusters. Like it was crazy. You couldn't keep anything on the shelf. Now you can see stuff building up, but that's good for the buyers. Like you're gonna start seeing price drops. You're gonna start seeing stuff being on a really good price to sell, and for the
Yeah.
consumer, they
Well,
can be
your
able to
guns
pick
are
up a
already
bunch.
really well priced. I mean, how much lower can you go? I mean, I don't think you can go any lower.
You never know. Some of these gun stores, though, they have too much inventory. They'll probably let stuff down to like 450 if they had to.
Wow.
That's at the same time, like that inventory standing is not good for them either.
So do you think this is like a temporary lull or
Um, I can't tell on this one, man. It seems like the people that were wanting to buy were buying, and I don't think there's like a sense of like panic buying coming up anytime soon. Another thing is like the economy is really hurting right now. People can't just afford to buy them right now.
yeah, thanks Biden. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. No, I'm not kidding. Actually, I'm not. So I'm thinking that it's gonna start separating kind of like the men from the boys as far as like manufacturers. It's gonna separate the ones that are um, you know, not fully paid off on their equipment from ones that are, I think, companies like Radical is going to survive, but I think there might be a few that are overextended that are just trying to get into it last year that are just kind of failing. I think some of like the real bougie gun AR manufacturers, they're going to get thinned out quite a bit. Like I just built one by Fortis,
Hmm.
which they make some amazing parts, man. I love those guys. And I picked up some of their foregrips and I was like, man, I gotta meet him. So I called the owner, talked to him, history of their company, and I totally dig them. And
Yeah,
that video's coming out soon.
when we started off as a storefront, we sold a lot of their product. They're great people to work with because when we started off, we were just a boutique AR builder. We didn't make our own lower. We didn't make our own stuff. We bought arrow upper and lower, and
Hmm.
then basically custom tailored whatever the customer wanted. So like, oh, I want this barrel. Okay, well we bought that barrel. Like, you want a proof barrel? You get a proof barrel. And
Right.
then so we would carry that out. So you would see like if old school Radical owners will have an arrow upper and lower that says built by Radical Firearms on the back of it. It's pretty
Oh,
cool.
really? That's cool.
Yeah,
Let's
and
see.
we would sell like Fortis handguards. They have like an angled grip and a vertical grip. We used to sell all their stuff. It was great.
Yeah, I loved it, man. You guys had those Lone Survivor AR builds. I wanted one of those so bad because they do. Look, don't let Radical Firearms fool you. They build some really cool bougie shit in the back, but they won't give it up. They had this really cool American flag. It was like, man, it was so cool. That was a cool looking gun.
Yeah, that touches really close to home for the owner of our company because he's a board member of the Lone Survivor Fund. So that's the
Oh,
organization
awesome.
that he works for and works with. So whenever we have a chance to raise money for them, you know, we go all out.
Are you bringing any of those to SHOT Show to show off?
No, um, those we let the companies that are like because they usually go to like to charity golf raffles and stuff like that.
Right.
So we let those guys advertise them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like each one of those guns, and the last golf raffle, they like fetched like $6,000 a piece. Just people bidding on them.
Holy smokes. You know what? I could see it because it is I would probably shoot it once and then put it away. Actually, I'd probably put it someplace really nice, but man, it is such a nice looking gun. I have pictures of it, and I'll put a picture up next week, or if I can find it. But William Omaro says, my wife has small hands and she wants a 9mm. Any suggestions would help. What would you suggest for a lady with small hands?
Glock 48.
I would suggest Hellcat Pro.
I haven't shot one.
It's awesome. I love it.
What is it like dimensionally? What is it similar to?
It's very similar to the SIG of a similar size.
Oh, like the 365.
Yeah, it's identical size almost. Except, so the original Hellcat, when it came out, the magazine would end right on like my right here, and it would drive me nuts when I would shoot it because it was like digging into my palm.
Yeah,
I hated it. The Pro is exactly a half-inch longer, and it fits like a glove. But my wife shoots it. She loves it. My wife, she's Filipino. She's tiny. And she doesn't like shooting small guns. She shoots a full-size 1911 and 45. She goes, I only got to hit him once. I go, all right, whatever. Let's see. What is going on? Mr. Big Hit says a 365 XL, thin grip, very comfy for people with small hands. Yeah, I guess that gun's cool too. But the Hellcat Pro is pretty cool. Micah says, damn Pinoys. Is Micah Filipino?
no, his wife is.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry, Micah. I'm so sorry. As one to another, let's start a support group because either he's forced to go to these parties and sing karaoke, or I don't know what's going on. Because I think anybody married to a Filipino, fantastic culture, awesome people. But if you have a Filipino wife, it's I feel your pain, bro. I really do.
He's also from Cal, or he also lives in Cali.
Are you from California too? Oh, because I grew up in Carson, and Carson, California was about 40% Filipino. So, like, my wife wants to go to the Philippines and visit. I'm like, why? I grew up. I mean, we had a Jollibee down the street, which is like a famous place to eat, Like,
He just opened up one by us over here off of Highway 6.
Oh, did they? Oh, that's the other one.
Yeah, that's the other one.
Yeah. My wife, it's like Mecca for Filipinos. They come from all over, Austin, San Antonio. Yeah, I feel your pain, brother. P38 Wilbur says tiny girls are great. Well, I don't know. I don't know about all that. My wife watches these, so I gotta change the subject. Fluffy says Hellcat sucks. I gave mine away. Hellcat or Hellcat Pro? Because there are two different animals. Fluffy. And you got big old meat hands too. I've seen you. So the regular Hellcat, it doesn't fit well. I won't say it sucks. It doesn't fit well. The Hellcat Pro is perfect. It's a different gun. It feels different. It shoots way better.
Is it like the bigger brother of the Hellcat?
Yeah, it's what the Hellcat should have been off the bat.
Gotcha.
And Mr. Big Kid. I think Mr. Big Kid, you did a review. I think you compared the Hellcat Pro and the 365 XL. I think you did. I don't know. All right. So, SHOT Show next week. Are you excited to go?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing a bunch of the friends. Get to talk to a lot of people that I don't get to see very often. So that's going to be the best part about it.
Yeah, it's very cool. That's one thing I don't think, as these guys, separate out, PSA is doing their own event, SIG is doing their own event. As these guys start doing all their own events, it's going to really kind of put a strain on like content creators because you can't go to all this stuff. You can only pick one or two things a year,
Yeah, and then there's not enough days. SHOT Show's only for a week, basically, is when everyone's out in Vegas at the same time to do this. And
right.
each company has their own event.
Yeah.
But each one's out of range too, right?
Yeah, it's a little crazy. But so do you gamble when you're in Vegas? What's your game?
I play roulette.
Roulette.
I'm slow and steady, man. I don't like losing all my
Roulette can
money
be a
in one
lot of
hand.
fun. You play craps at all?
I have never played craps. I was talking about that with my friend today.
Look, I love craps. That is my jam. If you're on a good table, people are screaming and you're yelling. It's the most fun. But you got to have on a $10 table, you got to probably have 400 or 500 to start because you got
Hmm.
to you play the pass line and then you put your insurance and then you got to play the numbers. But man, if you get on a good roll, I mean, I've had the last time I was at a casino in Louisiana, I had $35 left, and my wife was like, "Well, let's just play this and go." And these guys showed up and they started fixing the dice and throwing it all fancy, and we left with $3,800. These guys were just nuts. They knew how to throw the dice. I thought that was like stuff you do in movies, but
You
these
know,
guys they had a whole system down. It was cool.
yeah, I've heard like people talk about like you have to know how to make it bounce just before it hits the wall, so your odds of it landing on 7 or 11 are higher. So I'm just like
Right,
like you just have to know how to throw it, and you have to have a good thrower because even if you're not throwing the dice, right, you're playing, right? Like it's just
yeah,
everyone that's around the table. Yeah,
right. Well, these two guys they were from Hawaii, and there was these little they were like little Hawaiian guys, and they would fix the dice and they would throw them, and you could see the pit boss staring at them, but he can't do anything because they're not breaking the law, and they would
yeah.
just 7, 7, or they would get like a 5 was as the point, and they would just man every other number but 7 and or 11, and it was great, man. And we racked up so much money. That was the best night. That was a great night.
Well, we might have to go buy a craps table. You have to teach me how it works because I have no clue.
It's so much fun. What's cool too is, especially in Vegas, if you go off the strip, you can find like $5 tables, which are way more
Mm.
fun because you don't lose as much money because you can't have a couple bad rolls in a row. But even P38 says craps is where it's at. Your money can go a long way if you're a hard better. Yeah. Someone told me a long time ago, scared money is lost money at craps. So if you're scared to cover all the numbers, just do it. Because as soon as you don't, whatever number you don't cover is going to come up over and over and over, and you're going to be kicking yourself. But you could lose all your money in 5 minutes, which I've done. You
Yeah,
just
like
never know.
I bring $500 of gambling allowance with me. Like I'm not gonna like not play. I'm in Vegas. Like come on, you never know. Like you might have those few minutes to spare.
Exactly. I kind of have a gambling problem, and my wife's not going with me this year, so I'm solo in Vegas. So I don't know. This might not work out. She's the one usually says, "Okay, it's time to go," and I'm like, "Okay, let's go."
You know, I am that guy when it comes to some of my coworkers that go with me. They play every year and they're winners. They know what they're doing when it comes to blackjack. Will, our purchasing manager, he's the finance guy, right? He spends our money and he doesn't spend Radical's money at the craps or at the blackjack table, but he brings his own money. He prepares for this. Well, I think last year he won like 4 grand.
That's crazy. So
Yeah,
I've tried to the last time I tried to play blackjack, right? I had the little book tells you where to stand and stay and all that stuff. I went there and I'm like, okay, great. I stayed on 18, I lost. I stayed on 19, I lost. I stayed on 20, tied with the dealer, lost. And I was like, man, I could not freaking win. I was like, forget it. Forget it. But man, John, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. And I can't wait to see what Radical Firearms has in their booth this year. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to take you to play craps.
all right, man, sounds good.
Does anybody in the chat have any questions before we go? Craig Smith says, best price on ammo, buy online. Just buy online. Just do it. Always go with the 4 corners. John Doe. I don't know. When you play craps, you got to avoid. No, I'll give you some good advice off the air. because we'll have a bunch of craps people in here. But hey, again, thank you, John. Appreciate you coming on. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate all you guys. And that's it, man. Thank you for tuning in.
Peace.
All right. See you later. Till next time.